Who is the women's soccer super sub coming off the bench this season? And has Alexander Sturgard been the most valuable player for the men's soccer team this year? Plus, we break down a fantasy soccer draft for both the men's and women's team. This full-pack soccer episode of Bobcat Breakdown is starting right now. Welcome back to Bobcat Breakdown. I'm your host, Brittany Braun-Leben. Alongside me is Q30 television president Ben Kane and associate producer of this very show, Joey O'Donoghue. For this show, we are dedicating to all men's and women's soccer. How are you guys feeling tonight?
Well, I've gone a little old school. I got the corduroy jacket, got paper instead of me in front of iPads, but there's a lot of electricity in me right now, Joey. I don't know about you.
Oh, there certainly is. I already told facilities don't pay the electricity bill tonight. We're providing all the electricity to light up this whole studio.
All right, so you guys ready to get started?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Alexander Sturgard for the men's soccer team, has had an electric season and truly showcased his abilities as a first year. Joey, let's start with you on this one. Has Sturgard been the most important player this year? And if not, who has it been?
I'm definitely going to say it has been Alexander Sturgard. He is everywhere on the pitch for the Bobcats. We watched him against St. Peter's, Ben. This man is on the wing. He's in the midfield. He drops back on defense. It's remarkable to watch. And not to mention, he leads this Bobcats team in total minutes. DaCosta clearly trusts him as a first year. And not only that, he has 9 assists, Ben. That leads all of the MAC. No player has 9 assists, or no player has even close to that. And finally, he has 4 goals on the year, which is tied third most on this team. Alexander Sturgard has clearly been the most important player for DaCosta and his squad, and he's just the first year, so he's only getting going.
Well, you've given a compelling argument, but I'm going to take it the complete opposite direction. I'm going to go a little deeper in the field. I'm going to say Jared Smith has been the most important player. Now, I know you look at his stats, he's second in the team in minutes this season, second in assists, but the thing that Jared Smith does so well is he's a two-way player. He gets up offensively and then drops back, and he's one of the best one-on-one defenders on this team at left back. And there's one thing I really want to point out about Jared Smith. Yes, you can talk about all the assists that Alexander Sturgard has and those clinical passes that he makes, but the one thing that Jared Smith does so well that's never going to appear on the stat sheets is him going up and down the line and also cutting in. Now, when he makes those type of runs, he clears up giant pockets of space for the likes of Jason Budaj, Tomas Vekula. Those players can operate in those tight spaces, and then it's just a nice, easy ball for Alexander Sturgard to play into their feet and into open space, and at that point, they're just through on goal. So while, yes, Sturgard does get all the plaudits on the assist sheet, Jared Smith is the one that's making those spaces for them.
Well, I think everything you said, Ben, is just skills that Sturgard does even better than Smith. I talked about how Sturgard is everywhere on the pitch, so Smith's not the only one dropping forward and dropping back, but Alexander is going all over the pitch, middles, forward, wings. And then we look at the stats, as you mentioned. Goals, Sturgard has more. Assists, Sturgard has more. Minutes, Sturgard has more than Smith. So every metric that we look at and that you talked about, Sturgard got him beat, so he's clearly my MVP for the Bobcats team.
I really might disagree with you here because I think Sturgard, yes, he goes up and down the field, but he's more central. He's not going box to box. Jared Smith is going touchline to touchline. And as a former left back, that is very difficult. Not to mention a former washed-up high school player now trying to watch a D1 player get up and down the line. It is very difficult. I think if you track the miles that both of them run, Jared Smith by far will have easily an extra mile or two on Sturgard. And his movement, it's not just lateral. It's in and out and then up and down. So it's a lot more difficult for him.
Ooh, that'd be close. I really want to track the miles here now. I think it'd be closer than you think.
All right, so you guys ready for the next question?
Oh, yeah.
I think you guys tied that round. All right, so with playoffs in the near future for the men's soccer team, who should head coach Eric DaCosta put as the center back pairing for the playoffs? Ben, we'll start with you.
So I've gone with a matchup that we really haven't seen too much in the MAC as well as in the previous games out of conference. I've gone with Saunders Sonsrud and Luke Allen. Now, it's a bit of an interesting pair-up, but I think the two really complement each other well. You look at Luke Allen, the leadership he has. He's a third year on this team, and not only that, he's played some big minutes in those playoff games that were a lot of the Bobcats with a younger squad. They haven't been able to have that yet, so he brings that type of experience. He also brings the vocal ability. if you're on the field, if you're really close to that touchline, all you hear is Luke Allen yelling at his team to get forward, drop in, communicating as well. But he also has the vocal ability to not say anything at all and just communicate with his body language of where he wants players to be. You look at Saunders Sonsterd as well, a player who didn't play at all last season and partly this season due to injury and has taken this team alight. And one of the best things about him is his passing ability. Those first few games, he's a little bit uncomfortable, and whenever the ball would come to him, he just kind of cleared out to the wing, clear the danger. But now you look at him, his range is phenomenal. The moment Carl Netzel rolls that ball out to him, Saunders Sonsterd picks his head up, and without even hesitation, will ping it out to the wing to one of my MVPs, Jared Smith, and they'll go immediately down the field and onto the counterattack. But he also knows how to take that deep breath in adversity. And I think that all comes from him having that adversity early on in his season. And when you see the Bobcats go down very early on, he's very calm, very composed, and he keeps going.
Well, Ben, I agree with you on one of two. I love the Luke Allen pick, but how can you not have João Pinto? Going into the playoffs, my two center back pairings would be João Pinto and Luke Allen. Here's the reason for that. Pinto has been a beast all season long. He's a 6'2", stout defender, and he's logged more minutes than any other center back on the season, Ben. So when you're going into the postseason, when it's the most crucial time, you want to have the lineup that's most comfortable, why not throw João Pinto in the lineup, who's logged more minutes than anyone else? Luke Allen, I agree with you on. Last season, he started in all 17 games for QU. He even logged 90 minutes in a championship game. But Sonsterd does not compare to João Pinto this year. He's only had 6 starts. And when you look at Pinto, who's totaled 11, almost double that. I certainly think that Eric DeCosta is going to run with players he trusts this season, because Allen and Pinto have been in the lineup together, and it's going to be the playoff shot that you want to see.
See, now here's the thing. It pains me to say, but as a Manchester City fan, one of the best center back pairings in the world right now is Rafael Varane, and Martinez, those two center backs. But the difference between Luke Allen and João Pinto is they're kind of similar players. But you look at that pairing for Manchester United, perfectly complements Luke Allen and Saunders Sonsterd. A bit of a smaller player who can ping the ball, and that more physical player that would be Luke Allen, and the same as Rafael Varane, who likes to kind of get forward, be the vocal leader. So I think they complement each other more. That's why I would pick them personally. I just think they're too similar in Pinto and Allen.
I disagree, because I think that Pinto and Allen complement each other perfectly. You have Allen, who's the leader, the veteran leader that we talked about, and then Pinto, the young first year, who's logging big minutes. I think they complement each other perfectly with talent and experience.
All right. So let's turn the clock back and think about the offense of the men's soccer team last year and compare it to this year. Joey, what has been the biggest difference in the offense this year compared to last year?
There's a couple things I would point to, Brittany, but I'm going to start by highlighting the new first years they have this year that they obviously did not have last year. We talked about Sterngard already, who has 9 assists and leads the entire MAC in assists. The Bobcats didn't have that guy last year that was leading the MAC in assists. It's a little bit unheard of. This year they do in first year Alexander Sterngard. You also have Ramesh Delsus, who's provided 2 goals for the Bobcats as a first year. And then David Bercedo, who's logged 10 goals on the year. That's come from assists from first years getting up the wing, and a lot of his goals have actually been tap-ins pretty easily because of first years like Sterngard, Langwagen, coming up on the wing and setting beautiful ball placement, literally putting it on a platter for Bercedo and some of these strikers to finish. So I'm certainly going to say that the new first years are the reason that the Bobcats have much more powerful, high-powered offense this year.
So I think you've taken the easy route out here, just saying the first years, and you point out Sterngard. But I've gone with a different approach here. I think it's simply just they have an extra year under their belt playing in the fluid type system that Eric DeCosta likes playing. You look at David Bercedo, Bragassen, who's been in and out of the squad all season, as well as Tomas Vekula. And these players have just taken the fact that they were not in the playoffs last year, and they've ran with it, and they've fueled it to teach the younger players how to actually play and how to be a part of this team. I love my analogies, and I've got one for this one. I think this is a very good one. Okay,
oh boy.
So think about this. Eric DeCosta is stuck in traffic, right? He's gone off the expressway being the 2020 season where they lost in the MAC championship. So he's stuck in traffic in the 2021 season, right? In his car is David Bercedo alongside him, and they're cruising, but cars in front of him. On the side, you see 3 cars pull up. Carl Netzel, Alexander Sterngard, Eric Langwagen. These guys, they decide that they're going to park, and they're going to go in the breakdown lane, and they're going to hop in Eric DeCosta's car. Now, Eric DeCosta, he's got a decision to make here. Does he, A, take the easy route and go off the highway and simply evade the traffic? Or does he, B, stay with it, stay in that same system and keep going? So what does he do? He decides he's going to sit in that traffic and keep going. Now, the same type of thing can be applied to the men's soccer team this season, where, yes, they had a rocky year last year. Eric DaCosta, in his 18th season at the wheel, if you will, has really just stuck by his mottos and said that he needs to keep this system. And it's worked for him clearly, as they're one of the top performing teams in the MAC. So just having that extra year under their belt, having that extra experience, and knowing what they don't want is the perfect recipe for why they're so good this year.
So tell me, Ben. So who's in the car that you said joined Eric DaCosta?
Well, I have Eric DaCosta's driving.
Yeah.
At the wheel for the 18th.
I got that.
The wheel is the big part of this because it's a really good one. Front seat, I've got David Bercedo, captain.
Yeah.
Hopping in the back, Eric Langwagen, one of the best right backs in the league.
First year. Yep.
Alexander Sterngard and Carl Netzel, guys that he's
years.
brought on. So yes, I have a mixture of all of them. You just referenced the first years, but I've gone for all of the players.
Well, I think I'm just proving it with your analogy. The 3 first years, hop in the back, take this team all the way.
All right, so sticking with soccer, of course, but switching locker rooms, the women's soccer team has many stars shining bright on the field. But Ben, who is the team's super sub coming off the bench for the Bobcats?
Now this one was a bit of a tricky one to pick for me. They use a lot of offensive subs, but I've gone with Olivia Kudryko, and I think the biggest thing from her, although she has 2 assists this season off the bench, she had 3 goals last year, one of the biggest things from Kudryko is her versatility. And as Dave Clark loves those like-for-like swaps, she's one of the only players on the field that can play multiple positions. We've seen her, especially this year, coming in at that center mid role, and she almost turns into a completely different player. Her technical ability to drop it back into Lauren Triglione, Olivia Scott, those type of players, but also her breakout ability to get around a defender and start driving down the line. And then you look at last year as well in her more comfortable position, when she was on that right wing, coming in for the likes of Rebecca Cook, Paige LaBerge, and she would go extremely quickly down the line with no ball. She's just making those off-the-ball runs. So she's an extremely versatile player, which is the perfect recipe for what you need from that 12th man off the bench.
Well, it's not a bad pick, Ben, but I'm going to have to go with Ella Gagno. She has come off the bench for this team and is now 3rd in goals for the Bobcats with a total of 4. She's also logged over 500 minutes and played in 15 games. Who are we to argue with the beautiful soccer mind of Dave Clark, who has subbed her in every single game this season for the Bobcats? To me, that's the by-the-book definition of a super sub, someone who comes in every game, provides a spark on offense. She's got an assist as well and has helped control that midfield a little bit when needed, but the 4 goals is what really stands out to me, and you can see it on your screen right there. 4 goals to Kudryko's 0. Certainly going to go with Ella Gagno as my super sub this season.
Well, you look at the minutes as well, and Olivia Kudryko only played 7 less minutes, but she's been out for a few games this season. But Joey, I'm going to throw a fantastic stat at you.
I'm ready.
Every time Olivia Kudryko scores, the Bobcats win immensely in most of the games. Most of the time they're scoring 5 or 6, and they've never conceded. That's the type of spark you need. You bring that type of player in, the moment you score, you're like, okay, now we're good. We're going to go steamroll a team and cruise through this game.
Well, she hasn't scored this season, and they're doing pretty well.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right, guys. Well, it's time for us to take our first break of the night, but don't go anywhere as we play soccer trivia See you in 2 minutes.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. It's here. It's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job.
I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working.
I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
Welcome back. Thank you for sticking with us. Joey, Ben, and myself were able to play a little game of soccer trivia surrounding both the men's and women's team before the show. To give the viewers at home some context, being that we are not a trivia show, the boys played a quick game of trivia, and whoever won the questions that was being asked was able to draft a player of their choice to their fantasy soccer draft, which will later be debated. Let's take a look at it. Thanks, Future Brittany. Thank you guys for tuning in to our game show and our first ever live draft. You guys ready for some questions?
Ecstatic right now, Brittany. I'm so ready.
Oh, yeah. I'm ecstatic as well, and I was born ready.
You guys are bringing the electricity?
We are.
All right, ready for question 1?
Yes.
All right. What was the men's soccer overall record at the end of last season?
I'm gonna buzz in. Just don't want to. 9-8. 9-8.
Correct. All right, ready for question 2?
All right.
Ready? You good?
It's getting light.
All right. Rebecca Cook was an 11-game streak of scoring at least 1 goal before the streak ended against Iona. Before then, when was the last time Cook did not score a goal?
I think it was Lafayette.
Correct.
Let's go. Little August match for you.
So we're tied now, 1-1. All right, ready for the third question?
Yeah.
Who leads the team in minutes in the MAC conference games for the women's team?
We get another buzz. Triglione?
Correct.
Let's go.
It was always gonna be the
Let's go.
All right, you guys ready for the next question?
Yeah.
All right. When was the last time Quinnipiac's men's soccer won a MAC championship game?
I don't know why you don't like that. I like it. 2013.
Correct. All right, you guys ready for the last question?
Yes.
All right, ready?
Oh, we're ready.
Tiebreaker, ready?
This is tiebreaker.
Courtney Chokel currently has 12 assists this season, moving her tied in second for assists in a season. Who holds the record for most assists in a single season for the women's soccer team?
I think, so I know the point leader. I studied before this. I did a lot of studying because they told me the questions would be really hard. I studied before this. I think Shannon Pilastri leads in points and goals. So by assumption, I'm going to go Sharon Pilastri.
That is incorrect.
Ooh. I'm going to go Selena Salas.
Incorrect.
Is it someone from like recently? Like would we have, me and Joey have been at Quinnipiac when this happened?
No, do you guys want like a decade hint?
Yeah,
All
just
right.
a decade.
This was in the 90s.
Oh, man.
So Joey, I wasn't born in the 90s.
Yeah, neither was I.
Neither was I.
Oh, that's a tough one. Brittany, did you come up with this? Where are you getting these from?
I don't know. I'm very creative.
I'm
Oh,
like,
man.
I do not have an answer.
I think there's only one thing to do. Rock, paper, scissors match. Are you okay with that, Brittany?
Let's go.
We've really commandeered
No,
this whole
it's got to be
game.
the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
So we got to
All
do
right.
rock, paper, scissors.
All right.
One says shoot or shoot. What do we do?
We'll do set shoot.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Ready,
Oh, yeah,
bet?
I'm gonna do that too.
Oh, yeah. Rock, paper, scissors, says shoot. Oh, my God.
So we have to do another
have to do this
another
again.
round.
Rock, paper, scissors, says shoot. No.
Okay.
So Ben, you are our winner. So now you get to have your first pick of the draft.
Okay. So the easy pick here would be Rebecca Cook.
It would.
But Quinnipiac have 1 game left against Mount St. Mary's.
Yeah.
Last game of the year, Fairfield, Rebecca Cook played right back. She did
Yeah.
not score in that game.
Interesting.
So I'm gonna go with David Burcedo.
Wow.
With my first overall
Wow.
pick.
Interesting.
He played 90 minutes in their last game against St. Peter's. You might expect him to do the same thing. He scored a goal in that game, so point-wise, I'm feeling good about David.
Well, this is why I love playing against Ben Kane. Because I thought I had no shot at landing the woman who leads the nation in goals. Give me Rebecca Cook with my first selection, 19. That's pretty remarkable.
It is. So I'll go next. So there's many options here I could do,
Yeah.
but I don't want you to have this player. And I'll take a player I rate very highly. I won't take him because I don't want you to have this person.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna take Courtney Chokel next. And I don't want you to take Courtney Chokel, so I'm going to put
Interesting.
her in my team alongside David Bracedo. The chemistry, Joey, up top between those two, almost as electric as us, and that's saying something.
That really says something. Ben, that is, it's not a bad pick, but I'm going to be honest. I'm landing the players that I have top 2 on my draft rankings right now. Give me Alexander Sterngard. The man leads the MAC in assists with 9. Also has 4 goals to his name. The young rookie's getting it done.
You took a midfielder, I'll take a midfielder.
Ooh, okay.
I'm going to go Markayla Bailey.
Wow.
She's got 1 goal and 4 assists this season, but she's that X factor on the team. You never know when she's going to pop up and do something, so I'm taking that X factor on my team with my 3rd pick.
She's not even on my list.
I told you before, I had some X factors. I'm throwing them out there.
These
right
are
now.
some really big X factors. Well, I will give you the Chokel pick was pretty decent because it's leading me to go with 3 men's soccer players in a row. Excuse me, I actually took Rebecca Cook first overall. Forgot that you actually butchered that first one. So
my thoughts are really throwing you off.
yeah,
I'm
really.
winning here.
My 2nd men's soccer player in a row. Give me big time Tommy. Tomas Vekula stepped up a lot this season. 4 goals, 4 assists. What's not to like?
There's a lot to like that. I'm gonna switch though to the opposite wing for the
Interesting.
men's soccer team. Jason Budai is gonna
Ooh.
go into my team. 9 points on the season. He's clutch. Every time he scores, it's a clutch time goal, and I think he's got to go in there. Another little X factor on my team, Joey. I like
Definitely
the
an X
X
factor. Definitely an X factor. For my 4th pick, Benjamin.
We're getting official
We're
here
getting formal
now.
here. I'm thinking, give me Jared Smith. Man has 5 assists on the year. Plays a beautiful sort of left wing back role for the team. He's always involved in the plays.
I wanted him next, and they didn't get him. So I'm gonna go another X factor here.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Brog Austin.
Oh, I actually like that pick a
So,
lot.
He's got 7 points, but mind you, he's only played 6 games this season. So he put a full 90 against Manhattan. Didn't play against St. Peter's, but you have to wonder, with the games coming thick and fast, and there's 3 games left in the MAC, if you want him fit for the playoffs and you want him ready to go, I think he's going to slide in there. And if he was playing all season, would be number 1 pick potentially between the two of us. So Brog Austin's on my team.
I actually really like that pick, Ben. It's the first one on your team that I actually very much like because I was thinking of getting him in round 5 if he was available. High risk, high reward kind of pick.
Yeah.
So, Ben, that leaves me with a couple of interesting options to go. You already have Budai, who's kind of one of the X factors I was looking at, but I'm going to go for my other X factor then. Give me Sam McCann. 6 goals on the season. That is 2nd for all of the men's soccer team. I think he's one of those players that comes in, gets me points off the bench.
Okay. Another player I definitely would have thought about taking.
Yeah.
You've taken a player who comes off the bench a lot. I'm going to take one from the women's side now.
Ooh.
I'm going to go Ella Gagno.
Oh, I like that
4
pick.
goals this season, and every time it just seems like she pops up. I mean, we've been to most of the women's games. It seems like every game she scores has a big impact on the team. She's pretty much the 12th man for that women's soccer team. So Ella Gagno is my final player for my team.
That's a nice way to round it out, Ben. For my final selection in this first ever Quinnipiac Soccer Fantasy Draft, as Brittany so nicely put, I'm going to finish this off with an interesting one, Ben. Give me Paige LaBerge. Another striker to help out, another forward to help out Rebecca Cook on my team. She's got 3 goals on the year and 3 assists. Definitely an interesting impact player. I'm happy with in round 5.
I'm happy with my team. I think my team's definitely better, but yours isn't bad.
We're going to have to get into debate that right now, actually.
All right, well, thank you guys for tuning in to our first ever live soccer draft, and we'll see you guys back in the studio. Now, out of both drafts, what team do you think would win in this short-sided 6-versus-6 game? Ben, let's start with you. Would your team win or Joey's?
Obviously, my team would win. You know why, Joey? My team's techie. Let me tell you. I even set up a formation for it. So it's a 3-back with 2 up front. Ella Gagno, she's my notable mention, but she's going to float in the back right there. But what about my team is so special? Well, Bailey, Brog Austin, Courtney Chokel, the distributors on the team. And then you have the likes of David Bracedo and Jason Budai. Those guys who can run down the line, put a nice shot on goal, but also what they can do is really hold up the ball super well. So while, yes, I did pass up on Rebecca Cook for that first overall pick, I picked a very well-rounded team. But you have to look at some of the players. Let's not forget Markayla Bailey, All-MAC 2nd team last year. You look at Jason Budai having a career year with 3 goals and 3 assists. Brog Austin as well. He's only played 6 games this year, 2 goals and 3 assists. He had a very productive season. So my team's just definitely more well-rounded. I'm thinking Courtney Chokel is just going to hold up the ball, drop it into David Bracedo. Bracedo 1-touch, 2-touch, and then he's playing Jason Budai all the way down the line, and it's an easy goal against Joey's team.
No way is your team winning this one, Ben. I'm definitely taking my team, and I don't think it's much of a contest. You sold the first pick there, Ben. I was devastated. I felt I wasn't going to get Rebecca Cook, and then I did. David Bracedo, yeah, he leads the MAC in goals. That's cute. Cook leads the entire NCAA in goals with 19, and she has 6 assists to her name. That's pretty impressive. And imagine a team, Ben, where Sterngard and Jared Smith, who have a combined 14 assists, have Rebecca Cook sitting up top to play it into. It's going to be an outburst of offense. And we're playing this 6v6 game without a goalkeeper. Cook is dominating against Division I goalies. You really want to play against Rebecca Cook without a keeper? Are you kidding me? 6v6 game. She's going to go off. You see it again on your screen that Cook leads the entire nation in goals. And then I have big-time Tommy, Tomas Vekula, who also can whip in balls. He's got 4 assists. And then score goals. Finishing is one of his best skills as well. He'll tap in 4 of them. And I talked about Bracedo a little bit earlier. His 10 goals have been because of Sterngard setting him up, Ben. Smith setting him up. I took those players away from the men's soccer team for you. So you're left with David Bracedo. We're finishing, I don't believe, is actually his best skill. And I've got one of the best finishers in a combined soccer draft in Rebecca Cook and 2 of the greatest passers in the leagues to set him up.
Now, here's the thing. I've told Markayla Bailey before this. I said, when you go up on the field against Joey O's team, you're going to man-mark Alexander Sterngard. So he's taken out of the game. Joey, who's the facilitator in this team?
I don't think you can take Sterngard out of the game.
No, he's man-marked. He's fully man-marked. He's marked. There's no Alexander Sterngard in this team.
He leads the MAC in assists right now, and no one's been able to man-mark him.
Markayla Bailey will do it.
Oh, I'm sure. And there's one more point about this. Let's tally up some total goals here, Ben. So your entire team combined on the season.
Quick math.
Has 25 goals. Did that on the spot, right? Then you look at my team. All I need is 2 picks. Rebecca Cook and Sam McCann have a combined 25 goals. Your entire team of 6 players has combined for 25 goals. I also have more combined assists than you on the season. I think my team blows you out of the water offensively in the 6v6.
Now, I'm going to say one thing. Teamwork makes the dream work. And Brittany, I'll give it back to you.
Okay.
It's technical.
All right. So after that discussion, I think I have to pick Joey's team.
Let's
Sorry.
go, Brittany.
But we are not done discussing soccer. Like I said before, this is an all-pack soccer episode. But sadly, the fantasy soccer draft is over. And now it's time to take our final break of the night. But don't go anywhere as we discuss the QBSN Game of the Week. We will be right back.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
I'm on Jules spot on this last one. There it is. Keep going with it. Leo.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced House Hunter. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
For our QBSN Game of the Week, we had St. Peter's versus the men's soccer team when the men's soccer team won with a 4-0. So now we're gonna, okay. So, well, our soccer episode has come to an end, but we are sure to stick with us on Twitter and Instagram at Q30 Sports. Download the Q30 TV app, available in all app stores. And check out our website at q30tv.com/watch to never miss another episode of Bobcat Breakdown. From the producers to everyone behind the scenes, this is Ben and Joey. I'm Brittany, and have a great rest of your night.